Hello, this is Brad Benz and Brian Cunningham. Our project focused on forming a site council at Morgan Elementary. The first slide that we're looking at is the need for project based on data. In 2015-2016, Morgan became a Title I school, going from 25 to 50% free and reduced lunch. Students with IEPs increased to 19% of the student population. Increased students living in generational poverty. We had an increase in students with high ACE scores or adverse childhood experiences. Teachers indicated an increase in externalizing behaviors. Turnover led to severed community and business partnerships, and what that looked like was a new principal came in and really didn't have much of an idea of how the community and the school connected together. And so as she moved into her new role, those partnerships and connections with the community were lost. Academic scores then stagnated or decreased, and Morgan really wasn't compliant with the site council requirement for accreditation. In fact, they didn't have one dating back all the way to nearly the year 2000. So with all of those things together, we felt with new leadership coming in 2018-2019 school year that we needed to form a site council and use some community resources to better improve our school. As mentioned on the prior slide, the purpose of this project was to form a site council at Morgan to better utilize all stakeholders in order to identify and achieve building and district goals. With a new strategic plan in the works for the 2019-2020 school year, we thought it would be a good time to start the site council and build Morgan's goals as we as a district built our goals together. This project, it was pretty easy to gain support from stakeholders because surveys and verbal information that we had received from others indicated that we did not have much of a connection with the community, and that included business partnerships. We have a church across the street that we used to be a partner with, as well as parents coming into the school and helping out. So the first step we took is to develop an understanding of what a site council looked like and the roles and responsibilities of site council members. We sent out surveys seeking input on the value of a site council, what they would want if we had a site council at Morgan, knowing that we were forming one, what that would look like at Morgan Elementary based on our needs. We then identified potential site council members and invited those members to join our site council. And we are just in the initial stages, but members, the ideas that they have presented to us are highly valued, and we continue to seek further input.
Our methodology and data collection for this project consisted of our parent title survey given at conference time in October. We're using our pre and post DRA screening data and progress monitoring data. These data points will lead and guide our site council in connecting with our district strategic action goals and our building goals. Results of our data, when we looked at our parent title survey, one of the biggest areas that jumped off the page was a question that asked parents if they believe that our students had opportunities for career exploration. We had 68% of the parents agreed or strongly agreed that they felt that our students were able to explore careers. This was one of our lowest data points on the survey, so this was going to be a focus and is a focus within our site council. Another piece was the question that asked parents if they understood assessment data and how it relates to learning opportunities. While this was an 88% success rate that parents say they did understand, when we found out when we presented our academic data at our first site council meeting and then our second site council meeting, our parent members shared that they truly didn't understand how that assessment data related to what our goals were until the meeting. And so we started the conversations about how we can communicate in a better way to all stakeholders and all parents to make sure they truly understand how assessment data relates to learning opportunities. And the third piece we talked about was our DRA data and progress monitoring data of students being on level. We have a high goal of wanting to have 95% of our students on grade level or 100% of students making a year's worth of growth. Currently we sit at 73% on grade level data, and several students are close. That was some data we looked at and analyzed at our meeting. We have some other goals that we're taking a look at throughout our next meetings and making connections with community members, and I'll talk about more of that on the next slide. Our next steps, after we've had two site council meetings, we've had a great focus and clarity on what our next steps moving forward will be for the site council. We've started conversations about community outreach and goals for 2019 and beyond. We are getting a new superintendent, and we are at the end of our 5-year strategic action cycle. So that's going to present a great opportunity for this site council to provide input on not only building goals, but also district-wide goals as we create a new action plan, strategic action plan moving forward. Another area is the opportunity to educate our members on how our data relates to learning. This was a big aha for our parents as we presented the data and shared how we monitor student progress. They were very impressed and wanted more of that data and more information, and even wanted to create some parent meetings, parent partnerships to help explain what is actually happening in the school. And then finally, a strong interest in continuing to build connections within the community, focusing on career and support and mentorship within students at our school. Due to the high poverty and trauma concerns that we have, there's a big push to have connections with not only the school and community, but just a sense of belongingness and connectedness.